Mr. Han here. We are going to do another very short little video. This one deals with adding and subtracting decimals with whole numbers. It won't be too terribly complicated for you, but if you can get out your notes, find the section for decimals or start a whole new one, we will get right at it and you can move on to bigger and or better things. So here we go. The heading on this one is simply decimals. Simply decimals, and the little subheading, if you will, is going to be adding and subtracting when you have whole numbers. Adding and subtracting whole numbers. And if you remember somewhere in your notes, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you will find the helpful little hint that says the rule of thumb when you add and subtract decimals simply is in big letters, you need to line up the decimals. Which leads us to a small problem, but nothing that we can't handle. If we throw down this example problem here, let's say I have 12.75 minus 5. The one important point that today's lesson makes is this. The number 5 does not have a decimal, so what do we do? Question mark. Well, any whole number has a decimal in it. For example, if you think, let's just shoot off to the side here. If I'm writing $5 out in dollars and cents form, what do I do? Where does the decimal go? It goes right here because $5 is 5.00, which is the rule. Okay, you always can put, a decimal, and here's the big words, after, at the end of whole numbers. Okay, so if I'm doing this problem here, it's 12.75 minus, remember now everything has to line up with that decimal there, 5.00, and you can always add as many zeros as you need to do those problems. So look at how easily my answer, the decimal goes right here. My answer, 0 from 5 is 5, 0 from 7 is 7. This I have to do a little borrowing. This becomes a 0. This becomes a 12. 5 from 12 is 7. So my answer is 7.75. Another example of this might be, let's say you have, let's change flavors here. Let's say you have 3 plus 7.92. Well, 3 doesn't have a decimal, but you can put one in it. It always goes at the end of it, and you can add as many zeros as you want. Since this has 7.92 has two decimal places, I'm going to put 2 zeros in there. I'm going to line up my decimal here. I'm going to add 7.92 onto that. Do my adding, I get 2, a 9. Don't forget to drop my decimal in that same line. And my answer is 10.92. 10.92. Let's do just one more. Let's say I have 6 minus 4.5. Okay, and again, decimal is going to go at the end of the 6, so it ends up being 6 point, I'll put 1 0 because this has 1 decimal place, minus 4.5. This becomes a 5, that becomes a 10. Drop down my decimal, 5 from 10 is 5. 4 from 5 is 1, and 1.5 is my answer. That really is all there is to it. I do believe you'll have a pretty easy time with that. Thanks for listening. And I'm going to sign off and let you get doing something